Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Syracuse track and field. Joining us is Hazleton graduate Don Pollitt, a state champion on the high school level. Well, he's having a heck of a season once again for the NCAAs and Division I. Don, tell us about your year so far. Another great weekend for you.
Yeah, this is a small recap of my year so far. It's been followed by great success. Just coming off the year I had last year, becoming All-American outdoors. I had success with the indoor season, making it to nationals, of course. It didn't happen the way I wanted to, but I still came away with All-America honors. I got second team All-America. So, that was still a great achievement for myself because, that was my first time making indoor nationals, and indoor nationals are pretty, hard to make. So just coming off of my indoor season, that was, a great accomplishment for myself. So I was happy. And then, so far outdoors, it's just been still leading off of last year, and I've just been doing everything consistently the same that I did last year, but just better. So, this year so far, it has been going well for the most part.
Well, Don, how about being at Syracuse University the last several years for you and the experience that you're getting with the coaching, of course, with your major as well? Tell us about what it's been like to be an Orangeman.
It's been a heck of an experience. I fell in love with the campus from the moment I set foot on it, and it's just been a perfect fit for me. My coach, he's coached indoor national championship, and a guy who's not run professionally. We've had numerous Big East champions, and I'm an ACC champion. So the program here at Orange, being an Orangeman is great. I wouldn't change it for what we might not have a big team, but collectively, individually, we have a small, tight-knit group that produces champions. We speak for over the last, 5-6 years, we've had individual champions in the hurdle event. So, one thing that we're being noted for, would be like our sprint and hurdle program, specifically hurdles, because, that's what that's my coach, he specifies in. So it's just, each year, we just always seem to surprise people.
What's it like to be a top-tier Division I athlete for track and field at a great school like Syracuse? Talk about the hard work that you have to do. Do you feel the pressure to keep performing at the level that you're at? Because it just seems like you're growing each and every year.
It's definitely a lot of hard work that goes into it because, in track and field, each year you always have someone who will always surprise you and someone that will always just, pushes you to be better and that will push you just to, to just do things that you never thought you'd be able to accomplish. And it just showed because we have a freshman who, he came in, he was an indoor champion, national championship in high school in indoor, and then he came in and, just from the start, he's just been a great athlete. So, we've been mentoring him just, help him out so he can just do the things that he needs to do and just develop into a great athlete at the same time. And, and the one thing my coach says is you don't want to get complacent. You don't want to just get content because as soon as you get content and get relaxed, that gives someone else the opportunity to beat you. And it gives somebody else the opportunity, just to, take the spotlight off of you and just beat you. That makes you vulnerable. And, this year, my teammate Freddie, he's beaten me the first outdoor meet, and then he beat me in the semifinals this past weekend. But it's just not getting complacent, and it's just keep doing little things right that, it makes you just want it that much more. And even though I had a great season last year, I'm still not happy with that because I always want more for myself. And I feel like that's a great thing that I have is just never being content and never settling for less.
One thing we always known about Don Pollitt is he's always been a humble guy in high school, and here he is at Syracuse University, as humble as ever, working hard, doing some great stuff. Don, how much has changed since high school as far as your body type? You're still about the same weight. Talk about the muscle, what you've been working on as far as whether it's in the weight room or on the track, the flexibility, staying healthy. How much more goes into that formula to compete at the level you're at, which is, the top level in Division I?
A lot goes into it. Back in high school, I could eat what I wanted to do. I can, go to sleep whenever I wanted. And those little things I never thought would add up. But, my freshman year when I came in, I had to at least weigh about, I want to say, close to 185. And I was in great shape, but my coach told me that I would never be an elite athlete or an elite hurdler if, I didn't make certain changes. Because, my first year and a half at Syracuse, I was eating well, but I wasn't serious about it. I was, sleeping, but I wasn't serious. I was more involved in the, the social life and, like, just hanging out with my friends and, like, just always going out. But it took some time for me to actually sit down and just process, like, if this is something that you really want, then you got to make necessary changes. So, the summer after my sophomore year, I came home and I just dedicated myself to just to work, just to change my work ethic. And I came back the following year, and it spoke for itself. I was down 15 pounds. I was lean as can be. My weight is constantly at like 160. I'm stronger. I never would have thought that how I am now would have never have happened if I didn't make those necessary changes. So a lot definitely goes into it, and the better you become, you have to stay focused on the little things. No matter how good you are, there will always be little things that you have to constantly, continually change. And that's one thing that my coach is very good at. Even though we had a guy who won nationals, there were still little things that he could pick out and say, you have to change this because it's not so good. And that's just the detail. That's just finer detail that he's able to do. And the fact that he can do that, he's able to do that with Jared, who is now in freshman, and it rubs off on us, and that's why he's able to be a coach as he is, because he teaches us, and then we go out there and just do what we're, capable of doing.
We're talking with Don Pollitt, an elite hurdler in the NCAAs. Of course, he's at Syracuse University via Hazleton area here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Locations in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Kingston, Hazleton, and Williamsport. Don, when you talk about your family, you got your family in Hazleton, you got your family at Syracuse University. Both there are playing a big part in your success, I'm sure.
Yes. My family back at home, they are 100% supportive of me. They always make sure I'm taken care of. My mom's back there, she's doing everything she needs to do whenever she doesn't make many meets, but, she always watches them online. I tell her about every single race that I have every single weekend and all that stuff. But, my family here in Syracuse, my teammates, my coaches, my friends, that's like my support system. They always make sure that we are like a tight-knit group. We hold each other accountable for every little thing that we do. We make sure everybody's on the same page no matter what. And that's just something that we do just to make sure that if we all want to be successful, we have to hold each other to certain levels to make sure that's possible. So, whether in Hazleton, I'm in Syracuse, I always have that support system that I need to be successful no matter what.
Well, Don, it'll be a busy couple of weeks before you get to hit the track again. Let's first look to the future. You're a communications major at Syracuse, you're a redshirt junior. What do you want to do in the years to come outside of track and field?
Outside of track and field, I would say is either I want to go to graduate school and pursue a degree in public relations, or if I, get a job offer, that would be great as well. Or if I have success on track, then I'll just take that route. So, I have options in the near future.
And in the very near future in track and field, regionals at Jacksonville is up next. If you're able to get through that, then the NCAA Championships, you feel like everything's going well for you and peaking at the right time as you need to as a track and field athlete?
Oh, definitely. I might not have, my parents are great, but they're not what I want them to be. But I feel like if I keep working hard, then I'll peak at the right time. That's for sure.
Hey, Don, how about your summer plans? No matter how it goes at regionals and at the championships, are you going to be in Syracuse for the full summer, or you find yourself back in Hazleton area at all?
I'll be in Syracuse for most of the summer, but then mid-July I'm traveling to Vietnam for 3 weeks.
And tell us about what you're going to be doing in Vietnam.
I'll be going over there. It's a program called Culture College. You go over there and you just, you work with rural Vietnamese kids, just teach them life skills, and you work with them in certain academic activities and certain sports things as well.
Well, I'm sure you'll be a great asset to the people in Vietnam and the kids that'll get to look up to you. And obviously people back here in northeastern Pennsylvania are looking up to you now and seeing all the success you're having, not only in the classroom, but on the track and field as well. Don, congratulations on another successful year. We're rooting for you in the next few weeks.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Don Pollitt, Syracuse University track and field. He's an All-American here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.